Lena. I'm the founder of Go Running Tours, and we are doing interview series with our different guides in different destinations. And today I'm speaking to Ben in San Antonio. So, hello, Ben. Thank you for joining.
Hello, and glad to be here. Thank you.
Excellent, cool. I'm actually super happy to have you on board. I think now we've been working together a little bit more than a year, and I had the pleasure of meeting and running with you a couple of months ago in San Antonio. So Ben, we sort of talk. We'll talk a little bit about your running journey, about the tours, of course, and San Antonio, and also a little bit about what would you advise to runners. So let's kick this off. If you don't mind, introduce yourself, and then we can just sort of get going.
Of course, yeah. So I'm Ben Garcia. I am one of the guides here in San Antonio, Texas, and been, like you said, been a guide for about a year, and majority of the my pastime is out and about running. So when the opportunity arises for me to be a part of this awesome little company here, hey, I jumped on it. I figured, hey, why not? It incorporates one, I like talking. Two, I like meeting new people. Three, I like running. So all great things. And usually, what I've learned is that this is not just a way of just going out there and running, but in a way, I've actually learned a little bit more about my city because of being part of Go Running tours. Uh, there were things that I researched that I did not know, and when I figured it out, I was like, oh wow, man, that's interesting. Of course, I'm going to tell people about this because who would have thought that such something happened here in this one little spot. And of course, I wanted to also, because I do love San Antonio and I do love my city here, and especially the history behind old San Antonio with the whole Battle of the Alamo. Of course, that on its own is just, I mean, I could spend a whole day just making little laps around the Alamo and just talking about it. But there's so much more to it. And as I dug in, and as I because of our tours, we have our what here in the States, our 3 mile, our 6 mile, our 5K, 10K, and then our 13 mile run. It just allowed me to even expand my research in around the city. And I was like, dude, I could totally talk about this right here. This is gonna be an awesome little deal. And then of course, and I incorporate what I do on after I go running. I like to go and have a beer or two or a pint or and I've incorporated that into my running tour. I was like, hey, this spot, it's a great spot to go and have a pint. So, and of course, my my the some of the tours that I've done, and I tell them that, and then they say, but it's 7 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, we're not, of course, we're not gonna do that at 7 in the morning unless you want to, because it's open. you know so yeah, just that on its own has been just an awesome experience for me to, one, learn, and to tell the story of what San Antonio means to me, and how much it how I want to educate other people about it. So
Perfect, excellent. And I must admit, when I visited, it was my first time visiting in San Antonio here in June, and the city really surprised me. I think it was such a great place, great people as well, and of course, super interesting as well. So I can understand the passion. Also, just we talk a little bit sort of about sort of the running tours and what you like about it, Ben. But also tell me about your journey into running. I know. You have an interesting journey in terms of sort of where you've been, where you are now. So tell me about this, and tell the world about it, not just me, because it's going to be published.
Awesome, awesome. So, back in the year 2000, I suffered a motorcycle accident that left me in a wheelchair. I had severed my Achilles tendon. I had broken some bones, and I was a mess. I was in this wheelchair for approximately 8 months, and when the doctor told me, he says, "Hey, doesn't look good. You will be able to walk, but running is not going to be something that you will be able to be doing." So I had to prove him wrong, and um, I ended up, you know, gradually walking once I did get out of this wheelchair, and it did not look good for me as one that was very into running before, and one that was, gonna seek a career in the military, which obviously you got to run every day in the military, whether you like it or not. And so all of that was gonna be taken away when this doctor told me. He says, "You might want to also think about a new career." Well, that didn't sit well with me, and I'm a man of faith. I believe in God, and I believe in, and putting so forth effort into your goals with the help of God. I was able to succeed, and I was able to get off of that wheelchair. I was able to run. I was able to pass every test that I needed to join in the military. Once I was in the military, I sustained that status of, wow, this guy was not able to join and still joined and is outrunning anyone and everyone here in the unit. And you know I wore that as a badge of honor. When I told them, my story, I said, "Hey man, I was in a wheelchair, bro. There's no real reason why you're sitting down right here, man. Get your ass up, sorry. I said, get your butt up, and let's move, um and that kind of, I use that to motivate folks, to use that to tell them, hey, there's more. You could definitely push yourself. You could definitely move yourself, if you really have that mindset to just want it. If you don't want it, then you're gonna stay in that wheelchair. You're gonna stay on the ground. You're gonna not move forward. And so I ended up using that as my motivation. As I look back, I don't have the wheelchair anymore, but I do have pictures, and I look at myself in the pictures, and I'm like, dude, no, I cannot. I can never go back to that guy, because I had some really bad depression, of course.
Mm.
Obviously, I was and then um, when when I did come back from the military, of course, this is after going and serving and doing 2 tours in Iraq. I came back to San Antonio, and again, I've kind of found myself in that slump, and I had kind of put myself back in this wheelchair that I was at. I was like, feeling sorry for myself. I was, feeling down in the dumps, depressed, drinking, not that there's anything wrong with drinking, but, I was overly doing it, and I was kind of thinking back to myself, and I said, "Oh wow, I'm back in the wheelchair, man.
Mm.
Nah,
Mm.
let's get up. We're able to run." And you know, in no time after that, running became another type of therapy for me. It just became this way of, you know, getting everything out of my system and just lacing up and going out there and getting the miles, getting the kilometers there. So yeah, that's kind of my little story there.
Excellent. I'm gonna go back to the miles because you clocked many, many miles. But before we do it, I'm just super curious, Ben, when you were in that wheelchair, did you when you're sitting there thinking, I'm gonna run again, or did you sort of have part goals saying, okay, I'm gonna start walking and then faster and then longer, or did you have that one single goal in mind all the time? I'll be running again.
Yeah, no, the goal was I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
running again. I'm not gonna just, of course there were baby steps, it was baby steps to get there, but the whole idea was run. You're gonna run, you're gonna sprint, you're gonna be able to do everything that you did before the accident. You're gonna do it again. And that was what I set my mind to, and I ended up getting it. So
Excellent. Well done. So, and then let's go to, you said, just getting the miles in and so on. I think we can safely say you're definitely getting more miles in than the average. Tell us a little bit about your running and the races that you do.
so I go ahead and when I was in the military, kind of was forced to run, or it was not for fun, and but like I told you, I was using this as my therapy, and then I realized that San Antonio had a marathon here, and I said, you know what, I'm not ready for a full marathon, but I think I could do a half marathon. So I started doing these half marathons, and then I said, you know what? I think I could step it up to do, the full marathon. I ended up doing marathon after marathon, and for me, it was something that I could do. I'm not super fast now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like breaking records, but I'm consistent and I could run throughout the whole time, and then just have a good conversation with people. And as I'm doing these marathons, a friend of mine approached me and he says, "Hey, how about you throw in an ultra marathon?" And I was like, "What's an ultra marathon, man?" He says, the one that I want you to sign up for, it's 100K." And I'm like, and I'm thinking back when I was in Germany, and I was like, 100K, carry the one, that's plus minus two, and I was like, I was like trying to figure it out, because it had been a while. So it wasn't until I got in my car, and of course he planted that seed, and I got in my vehicle, and I looked at my speedometer, and I see the miles, and I'm like, holy, that's 60, that's 62, almost 63 miles. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So I started training, and my first ultra marathon was 100K. After that 100K, it sparked something in me that I had never felt before. I felt pain. I felt accomplished, but oh my gosh, it was like a chess match with myself. So I wanted more. And so I signed up for another 100K, and I signed up for another 100K, and then I signed up for a 100 miler. And as it kept increasing, I when I signed up for this 100 miler, now that's when I finally said, "What in the world are you doing out here? Oh my God!" It's I'm looking at my Garmin, and I was like, mile 88. What in the world? I'm like, I'm like, so yeah, I pushed on, and I moved from the 100 milers. I moved to the 200 milers, and as I did my very first 200-mile race, it was 223 miles, and it was pretty much half the distance of Texas. So it was from our capital down to the beach area, and 223 miles, which took me approximately, I'll say, 3 days to accomplish that. I was I was exhausted and I was, but I could not stop the tears coming from my eyes when I saw the beach, and I'm like, oh my God, there's the beach. Of course I'm running like this. I'm like, I'm not even running. It looks, I look like a baby deer, I'm like baby legs and everything. I was like, oh my God, there's the beach, and all these tears are coming down. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a real ultra marathon. This is what it really feels like. So I was able to come in. I got my beer, of course. They had beer at the end, and I got my beer, and I just
what time was it then? What time was it in the morning? Or
it
was it around
it
7?
no, no. When I finished, no, right? No, it was actually late in the afternoon. But
Ah,
I
okay, so it was
wish,
definitely
yeah,
beer time.
yeah, it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't early in the morning.
Sorry, go ahead. Please continue.
No, yeah. So I finished this race, and I was like feeling so accomplished, so just joy in my heart, and I was beside myself. And ever since, I had been searching for that. And so every time that I lace up, and I'm about to do one of those 200 mile races, I remember that one feeling, and I'm going after it again. And so I ended up signing up for a couple of more 200-mile races, and then this. What ended up starting as something that I was kind of doing for myself. I reached out to other organizations, and I said, I do these miles. I wanna raise some money for you, and so I said I have a handful of followers, but they're willing to give. And by the time I knew it, the word got out. And for that particular race, the one that I did from the 223 miles, which was my first one, I ended up raising some money for the Cancer Children's Hospital, and they we donors from anywhere. I mean, I didn't even know these people, and they were donating stuff that really helped the hospital. It's a small hospital here in San Antonio, but this one company ended up pretty much giving every room in the hospital fire sticks, so the children can watch their little YouTube videos, or they can watch stuff on Netflix, or just something that would bring them a little closer to home. And it just didn't make them feel like they were at a hospital kind of deal. So
Mm.
and of course, all the money that was raised was just donated to the hospital. They were beside themselves. And of course, you know after that, that was what I was searching for. I was like, oh my gosh, the race is all sweet and dandy, but giving back to the community, giving back to these people that really really need it, that's where it's at. So
Mm.
after that, I ended up going, and for every race that I was running, I was picking an organization and giving back to them, and raising money for these organizations. That one of them was for veterans and first responders. Another organization was for to assist families that had lost a loved one due to a tragic event because of their job as a first responder. Um,
Mhm.
Other organizations were just veteran groups that were suffering from PTSD. And so
Yeah.
all of the organizations are something that I find near and dear to me,
Yeah.
and that I can relate to. So yeah, it was really 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 great that that my friend just planted that seed of, hey, go run 100K just for fun. And after that, I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this for my community. So it all comes back to how how can I improve my community? How can I give back with this? I call it I call it a little gift, from God that He has given me to be able to run and run really long miles.
And just continue.
And just continue. Yeah, just be out there. Most people tell me, they're like, and how do you run, so long? Do you listen to music? And I'm one of those guys that doesn't listen to music. I just tell people, I just turn the switch, and it's you remember back in the day when the TV would go all fuzzy and everything, yeah, that's usually what I'm seeing out there. I'm like, shh.
Fantastic, excellent. So, just well, first of all, then, really well done in raising money as well. I think it's impressive, very admirable. Um, Moving from the running, I'm going to finish off asking you your best running advice, but just a couple of quick questions, sort of talking more because our what we do is, of course, run, and we also, as you mentioned in the beginning, share our cities, and you, of course, share San Antonio. So I always ask the guide, is there anything, what should people see that they don't know they should see? So people know the Alamo, they know the Riverwalk and so on. What is the one thing in San Antonio that you feel people should see, but they don't know they should see or experience in San Antonio?
I think what they should see is the culture
Mm.
of how everything is blended. As I'm telling the story there about the Alamo and everything like that, it wasn't just these Americans, these people from Tennessee, these people from it was a group of everyone. You know, most people don't know that there was a lot of German settlers here in Texas around that time, and
Mhm.
so it and you can see it all around as you're walking around in downtown, and you see it in everyone that's in and around the area. You see the culture. It's not just all a Hispanic culture. It's not an all German folks. It's not all just people from the U.S., which is a mixture of everyone. And that's what I kind of just throw it out there, when I'm
Yeah,
talking to folks, like,
yeah.
hey, you know, look at our culture, look at everyone here that is different, but we're all together here, and it's beautiful because, and then of course I'm a foodie, and I tell them, I said, all our food is all awesome because it's so
Mm.
delicious, because it just comes up with so much flavor. And then I talk about our culture, and I talk about our food, and so that's one thing that I want people to get out of it.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. And I can only sort of confirm your food advice. When before I left for the airport, I took a taxi out to this one taco place you mentioned, this local one, and then I had my tacos, and then I went to the airport, and they were brilliant.
Awesome.
So I can definitely confirm that there's very, very good advice from you, Ben. Is there anything that people shouldn't do when they go to San Antonio? Do you sometimes hear people, oh, we did this, and you think, oh, I wish they'd done something else, or they didn't do this? Is there something, one thing that people shouldn't do if they go to San Antonio?
I mean, you got to do the tourist stuff. You got to. There's just things that you got to see. The one thing that I would just uh, spread out. I would encourage more spreading out. Don't just stay in the city. Don't just whatever is in around the area right there. No, move around. Get that rental car, and go towards the hill country, because most people don't know that we have vineyards in this area,
Yeah,
and so that's the one thing that I would tell. Don't just stay within the confines of the city. Move out.
yeah.
You know.
Perfect. All right, that's an excellent recommendation. Actually, just one thing before the last question, which is what's the best advice you have for a runner? I just want to share this. Let me see if I can. Um, So let me just share this. So I'm a little bit curious. I was watching a video. Can you see my screen, Ben?
Yes.
All right. So I was watching a video when I was in San Antonio, and as you can see, I'm obviously very excited speaking to people. But what sort of catches my eye when I'm standing there is it's just looking sort of at you. And I'm just wondering, and I've wondered this many times, what are you thinking at this point? Or are you just thinking, I wish this woman would just finish? Or what was going through your mind at this time, 6 o'clock in the morning?
I know, right? No, actually, what was going through my mind was like I'm I had to quickly move from the running to the walking because one of my walkers didn't show up. So that was what was going through my mind, and I said, okay. I had already had the script in my head for the running tour, but I said, "Oh shoot, I got to transition to the walking tour." So that's why I'm kind of looking down and just kind of collecting my thoughts. I honestly, I wasn't even paying attention to what you were saying. I apologize.
I think that's pretty obvious, Ben.
Yeah, That's what I was thinking of. What was I going to say when I was going to be doing my walking tour? Yes, yeah. Sorry.
Perfect. Cool. No, I just found it extremely funny. So last question is best advice to runners, and this can be for beginners or elite runners, ultra runners, and so on. But the one advice that you would give to a runner, what would that be?
Keep it going. I always end my phrases with keep it going. No matter how tough it gets, no matter how painful it is, And I'm not talking about injury pain. No, I'm just talking about just mental and physical fatigue pain. Um, just keep it going. The end result is going to be better than what you're feeling at that very moment. So keep it going is something that I wish I could put on a t-shirt, but yeah, I just I like saying that, and I like encouraging folks to um, not stop. Don't stop. It, you can. I did see this in this one deal, and it said, I can run, I can walk, I can crawl, but I will finish. And
Mm,
and that really stuck to me. And I said, you know what? Yeah, because you can do all of those things, and you will finish, and keep it going. So yeah, the
cool.
beginner to ultra marathoner, just keep it going, man.
Keep it going. Great advice.
Yeah.
Excellent. I have nothing else, Ben. Thanks for your time and thanks for joining. And thanks for being part of the company and my colleague. I very, very much enjoy it.
It was my pleasure, and like I said, I love talking about my city, and I love talking. So this opportunity to go ahead and talk about myself and my city, it's nothing more than I like to do every day. So thank you for this opportunity, Lena. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful company. And hey, let's keep it going, right?
Yeah. Keep it going.
Gotta go.